to show off the remaining matches here, Bandit?
Yeah, it'll be a really nice way to end things. I know that it all kind of happened quite quickly with streaming with T West and the Viper, but how awesome was yesterday to have that happen?
That was pretty sweet. I mean, seeing those two guys, and they were pretty excited to show off those AIs. I think they were surprised by the results and basically everything that happened. I mean, the matches were pretty epic. So,
And I'm just looking in the chat already. We're already greeted by Wattle and Zeba. Hello, folks. Thanks for
good
joining.
afternoon.
So, yeah, as MrElephant mentioned in the chat, what we're streaming today are the games that we kind of had put to one side that we didn't pass on to T-West and the Viper because we wanted to kind of limit things to their time. So we've got another 4 games to be sharing today, just to show you in a bit more detail kind of how things laid out in the grand final with Rehoboam and Immortal, and there's still some absolute corker moments going through for some of these games, but it felt like the 3 that we sent off just kind of had a mix of everything that we wanted to kind of summarize how the match went. But what we've got at the moment is a game loaded up. So this is game 1 of Rehoboam versus Immortal. Rehoboam is Persians and Immortal rolled Berbers. Is there anything else you want to add, MrElephant, before we get started with this?
I think that you've provided a good summary to this, so I don't think I have anything else.
Cool. I definitely won't zoom out that far that I was then. In that case, yeah, I'm going to hit play, and what we'll do, I think, is we'll go a bit quicker with Dark Age. And just so you can start seeing some bits that happened. And
we might want to turn off Fog of War. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, okay, the marker forward. Okay.
And just
the war there.
Is sound coming through okay? Is it, for me it's coming a bit quite noisy, but I don't know if that's coming through on the stream as well.
You said Waddle says game sound is too loud.
It is, okay. Let's pause that for a moment and get that adjusted.
Zeba says, I think I missed it, but did Rehoboam completely switch from Franks to Persians, or can he play both civs now? He switched from Franks to Persians a little bit ago when the Savar unit came out for Persians. So when that happened,
for the final 16, he can still play Franks, but yeah, Persians is now the optimal one instead of Franks, so it plays in those same positions. I've just turned the sound on Capture Age a bit down, so hopefully that's helped. And I'll just keep adjusting as we go. There we go, so hopefully that's a bit better.
So, Bandit, were you surprised by the results of the tournament in the end, or was this something that you were expecting to see from Rehoboam actually coming out from the losers and then winning it all?
I was really shocked. So for context, I had pretty much a day of running these games just in the background, so I wasn't watching them initially, just to try and get through them, and then I was going to play the replays back kind of on a faster speed, just because we had kind of deadlines to get to. And yeah, I think when I started getting some of the results in, it was very much a lot of double takes and going, really. but I think there's a couple of things to take into consideration, right? Like I remember quite clearly when we were casting the semi-finals with the NightPanda. That he highlighted that there was a couple of things that went quite wrong with Rehoboam. So in the 1v1s and the 2v2s, it wasn't scouting properly, and therefore the archers were never leaving. And he said that was quite unusual behaviour, and it was kind of one of those cases that it was typical that it happened during a tournament. So I think we didn't have any of those issues for Rehoboam this time around.
Yeah, I know that when he was talking about that, he was saying that he was very, very surprised that all those issues occurred during the previous fight, like in almost every single game or something like that. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember him saying it shouldn't happen again.
Yeah.
Inside the in the finals, hopefully.
He said it is an issue that came up around about 10% of games, and it came up in every game that we streamed. So there's that. The other thing is, and this could also be a factor, these games were run offline, so I didn't have OBS running, and didn't have a live Discord on the go at the same time as well. So that could have also given Rehoboam a bit more of an edge.
Bandit, Wow says that he wants. Can you at least half the game volume from this point? I guess. So he wants it even softer, I guess.
Yeah. Is that any better? I think Capture Age adds another layer of sound to it. So.
Zeba says that's nice.
Cool. And as we can see, the scout rush here isn't getting a tremendous amount of villager kills for Immortal, but it is getting idle time. These villagers are being distracted. You are going to see the archers get a couple of kills, but the military numbers at the top aren't too bad either way. Like Rehoboam hasn't pulled away with a massive lead like he has done in previous games. And Rehoboam is getting ready to he's getting his buildings, and he's going to start saving up the castle quite soon.
Strange that Immortal pulled away with that last scout, but he's not sending it back to the town to kind of bully the villagers. He's just having it run around aimlessly almost.
So normally, if you're sending scouts or men at arms at Immortal, it's quite a nice trick, because normally that single scout can lure a whole army around and keep them distracted and out of his base.
Yeah.
But Rehoboam seems a bit more focused in this case. And we're going to get a bit of micro. It's going to be skirms versus archers. And this is kind of what we were seeing with the Viper's kind of micro scenario with Rehoboam. That although the archers do fire and do a perfect split, sometimes the timing of those attacks means that all of those arrows hit the ground. So skirms and the archers are kind of moving at just the right time.
So do they have upgrades at this point, or are they non-upgrade units?
The Reho archers do.
Mm-hmm.
And the skirms do as well. So yeah, both have upgrades.
So it would be still preferable. I know that Rehoboam, well, it was talked about inside those games that Rehoboam, I know T West asked if he uses hills. I know that the TheNightPanda does take into account hills and stuff like that. I know he mentioned, but I'm not sure if TheMaximalBeing said Immortal does. I'm sure that he does as well.
And you kind of see both. I mean, I've seen a lot of Rehoboam versus Immortal games this week, and you'll find a lot of them kind of will just circle around the hill. So whether it's by design or not, neither of them really stay on the hill. As you can see there, Immortals just walk the skirmishers off. We do have some skirms splitting off, distracting the villagers here, so that is going to be helping Immortal despite the main fighting happening here. And both have clicked up to castle. Rehoboam's going to get castle first. And I think we're going to see stables. We should see stables soon. There we go, we've got a stable.
It is interesting about what the Viper said about when archers versus skirms, and the skirms don't have their upgrades, to just instead of microing all the time, you might want to just stand together and just continue attacking without the micro, or something to that effect.
It's to do with the timing of the attacks, because if they all shoot at the same time and they all miss, whereas if they all kind of spread out their shots a bit, there might be more of a chance of some of them hitting.
Yeah, and he also talked about the ballistics as well. Having that as well might help both AIs getting that a little bit earlier.
And what we're getting here is we've got a second TC up for both Immortal and Rehoboam. Rehoboam's has been built. We've got crossbow upgrade and bodkin arrow already for Rehoboam, which has just helped him get a couple of kills with those skirms, against those skirms even. And those skirms are now going to become elite skirms, which we've already got bodkin arrow for Immortal. So again, both sides, the elite skirm's kind of going to be countering the crossbows. Rehoboam doesn't have enough food for knights, and now he's just starting. But behind the scenes, that second group of skirms, I think, has been doing enough disruption to kind of keep Rehoboam from spiking at that early castle age.
It still seems like those units are circling the town right now.
We have got knights out, but Immortal has his own. Immortal has a third TC down. Rehoboam has the resources for another town centre, but hasn't built it. And I don't know if that's a up-build line issue, perhaps. Trying to build a lumber camp, getting distracted. And the micro against the knights is pretty good. The knights actually will go down. We got a bit of a villager creep in the lead with Immortal, and with a third TC, that's going to slowly increase. Reho has got its other TC placed down here. Is Immortal going to disrupt that? Look at these villagers. We got a fourth TC down for Immortal. And you can see Immortal stopped with the military production here. As Rehoboam's kind of slowed down because he doesn't have the food. But stopped producing archers as well. So in this race we've got, you know, the military being quite steady for Immortal. It's not losing any, so it can just stay where it is and just focus all those resources on booming and trying to get upgrades.
It's looking quite one-sided at this point. You know, the skirms are out, the knights are out. You know, this is I can't see how Rehoboam can actually recover from this game. That would be very difficult for him to come back, I would think.
Yeah, I think the farms in the middle, you know, he's rightfully deleted them because he's under attack, but it's taken a while to refarm, and that's just slowed down the knight production to a crawl. A couple of knights could deal with a lot of these skirms, but one at a time, the micro is always going to win.
Yeah, that's something that you don't see in other AIs, where they delete the farm that's because they don't want the villagers actually using those farms. I wonder if it, rather than deleting the farm, it would be just more simple to task a villager to go to a farm that is out of the distance or a farther away farm or something, rather than deleting the resources to the farm.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if it's just easier with DUC to be able to, if you delete the farms that are in danger, then you can, not use them, and it's easier to kind of filter them out. But it could be that, or it could have been that they ran out and Verbo just didn't replace them.
Yeah.
In which case, it
that could be another option.
Interesting house for Immortal.
Yeah, I wonder if it's kind of like scouting with that, or trying to see what the enemy units are doing, I guess.
It's not going to scout that far unless it gets attacked with melee units. But ballistics is being researched by Immortal now. It's got all its eco upgrades. They're being chased by.
Is that a mill or a house going out for Rio on that corner? Well, it went down either way, but
I'm not sure. So this is what Bear needed. It needed knights coming out. I'm not sure what's happening with the micro.
Do you have Capture Age Pro, or do you just have regular Capture Age?
I just have regular. I can't see the APM, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So these knights could have just tried to surround the skirms, and just a patrol into these skirms would have dealt with them. But kind of like what was said about the towers, is a bit of kind of over adjustment, which is easy to do in DUC. Like, you're checking against several conditions, and there's so many points where you can be on the threshold of two conditions, and you get caught in a bit of a loop. And that's just what's happening here with Vero.
Yeah, it's kind of like your retreat conditions versus like military superiority. Like, you retreat your units back if you have under a certain number of units, but you want to increase your town size or go for the attack if you've reached over a certain amount. So it could be on the very border of that, and your units go back and forth.
Yeah, and I think like sometimes when we build in those rules, we, let's say, 10 knights are your limit. If you go down to 9 knights, it switches to one mode, and 10 it switches back to the other. Those situations are going to occur. Like, I think sometimes it's better to add, and I don't know Vero's code for this, but sometimes it's better to add a bit of an overlap. So, if you're in mode 1, 10 knights is your limit to switch to mode 2, but you don't switch back until you go down to 5 knights rather than 9, and then that way you don't get that back and forth behavior. You've got like a it's going to stay in that mode for a little while. But Immortal is running away with this right now.
You could actually include a timer as well, like after a certain condition ends or whatever, you could add like some sort of timer that for the next 15 seconds,
that's another way, for sure. And you could do number of script passes as well. I know, like Fireball's code kind of does that. Look at these villagers, just chilling out. But these Vero villagers here are walking a long way.
I thought that Rehoboam was kind of recovering there, but then he lost his whole entire army again for a second time.
Well, it's a composition at this point. Immortal's like fully upgraded. It's at Imperial Age, and it's mixing in spears and camels. So just like that little bit of a mixture there is going to cause problems.
It's over at this point. It's too one-sided.
I'm going to fast forward. And you can see the numbers just dwindle. and that's an Immortal win.
Well, that was a decent fight between the competitors right there.
Yeah, it's I think it's one of those where the scouts didn't necessarily pay off immediately for Immortal, but the splitting of the ranged groups did. 2 lots of skirmishers, although they couldn't take out the archer army with the micro. They held them, and then the other group just did enough disruption to stop Rare from getting that night flood that he goes for at early Castle Age. Just delayed that enough for Immortal to get the numbers and counter.
I think that the split groups are one of those things that will become more frequent in the future. The more of those groups that you kind of split off, like if you have like 4 groups or 8 groups rather than just 2 groups or 1 group that you can control with DUC and those movements, the more
it varies a bit, doesn't it? Like, because for me with Brightspark, that's exactly what I try and go for. I'm trying to do individual units, and go for that max disruption. But the downside with that is you don't then have the concentration for those micro battles. If you are scattered and then you run into that massive crossbows, that army's going down. So it varies with who you're playing against. It's a bit of a rock paper scissors.
But there is a benefit of that as well, is that if one of those groups does run into the larger group, you don't lose as many troops that way as well. So you're going to lose if you confront them. If you continue with the fight, you don't lose as much, type of thing as well.
Yeah,
and that's assuming that both DUC of the AIs are on equal footing, which that's never the case. But
we will see more of that, I think, of them being on equal footing. This is a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quit out of Capture Age briefly. So you'll probably see no screen for a moment, but I will get Capture Age back up with a second game.
Okay.
The next game I'm going to run here is going to be a 2v2.
So Waddle asked, that was the first game. Yes, that was the first. That was game number 1 from the games that were played by Bandit on. I think it was Saturday. Is that, or was it Monday?
It was Monday.
It was Monday. Monday.
So yeah, I ran it in my office, and then just worked for the day and came back periodically. Just checking on the Twitch here, just want to make sure that that's actually come through.
I can see your screen right now. The scout is right out, almost to the outskirts of the town.
Cool. Right
by the house foundation.
Brilliant. Okay, yeah, it is showing. Great. Cool. So this game here, 2v2, we've got Immortal as Britons and Mayans versus, as you can imagine, 2 Persian Rehoboams. So let's get this started and see what happens as a result of this.
So it seemed like the Viper said that he considered Persians to be one of the best civs now inside the game. That's kind of surprising, since at one point they I know that Persians was just considered to be an intermediate, or maybe not even that strong of a civ. So it seems like it's done a complete flip of.
Well, it's just had a really nice update, hasn't it? I mean, all of its unique techs. It's the Savar unit is awesome, and it still contains all of the perks it had before. So like the extra food at the start, which is helping it get that early Castle Age. So I think the TheNightPanda said that originally he had Persians in mind for Rehoboam. So I think before it kind of developed the micro, it did go for Persians. And since the update kind of brought it back to its former glory with that. So yeah, I think he's optimized, hasn't he? He's gone for what's working best for his strategy.
Yeah, I know with Thanatos, for instance, that Persians was my choice for that AI because it had access to paladins and another unit, the War Elephant, that I was planning on including with it. But yeah, it's always been a powerful civ in my opinion, because of these powerful units. But
the Persians have been my favorite civ, like from the get-go. I love War Elephants, and I've really enjoyed seeing them get a bit of love. And I really like the Savar unit. I think I don't get to use it that often, but that unique tech for gunpowder castles, again, really nice. Citadels, I think it's called. Yeah, it's awesome. So I imagine they'll probably get some form of nerf at some point, but I'm enjoying it while it's as it is.
Have you included these inside Bright Spark right now? I haven't.
Yes.
I don't remember seeing that inside Bright Spark at the moment.
Yeah. So yeah, Bright Spark plays Persians with the latest stuff. It also plays Armenians and Georgians.
When did you say that Bright Spark V40 was going to be released?
I didn't. I'm working on a load of. I say it's a big change. It's a big change in terms of like lines of scripts, right? It's really fiddly because I'm playing with micro and building placement. When it gets released, you're probably it's not gonna look massively different, but it's gonna get loads of kind of tiny gains, which is kind of what I'm aiming at now. I want it to compete with the likes of, Odette, and ideally kind of reach that level of fighting Immortal and Rehoboam. But you see all the things that they get right. And that's really kind of the standard I need to get. So yeah, I haven't got a deadline for that one. I'm just going to try and do it properly and not cut any corners.
Yep.
And hopefully, come back with a much stronger AI.
Sounds like you have a plan in mind.
It's doing okay so far. The tests have been pretty promising. And here we go. We got. Better micro between the two. Rehoboam with a slight military lead. Both are mixing in archers and skirms. In previous games, in the semi-finals, one of the issues was Rehoboam didn't scout the opponent, so didn't know when to mix in skirms. So it was going full archer against a skirm army. You kind of saw a little bit of that in the previous game, I guess. But here we got a mix, so Reho's a bit more prepared. Blue's coming in to save green, or to assist, so it's not looking good for Reho down here.
I don't know if I can feel bad for Rehoboam, since he was the one who went into the assault here on Immortal.
But while this is happening though, yellow's going into blue's base.
Oh, that's good play right there.
And red is going to keep both of these armies occupied and buy yellow time to really do damage.
So is blue going to retreat his units based off seeing yellow in his base, or is he going to keep...
Nope. It may do once that army's dead. Red Rehoboam is going to build army, but you can see on the blue here, here's an issue, and this is one of the reasons this game didn't go to Viper and T-West. There seems to be an issue with Immortal here. The army's just out of reach, but their units are garrisoned. And if we head over to green, the units are garrisoned here as well, even though the army's not in their base. So that's 15 and 15 villagers trapped in a TC, not producing. So actually, although it says 96 to 93, it's more like 97 to 63. He's 30 villagers down, and that's a real shame. And I think that's I'm not sure what's causing that, but
yeah, that's a bad bug.
Yeah, it didn't happen in every game, but in this game that made a big difference. So I don't know if that's a DE thing, or whether that's the Maximal Being script kind of being having a bit of a delay time, or sensing army just on the outskirts, in too wide a radius of the base. But yeah,
I'm sure that
don't move.
I'm sure that this really hurts. Seeing this from the Maximal Being, seeing something like this inside. It looks like those finally did ungarrison. It's like green, at least.
They did, yeah. So and that's kind of why I question it, of whether it's D or whether it's a script, because it could be that blue's still detecting yellow around here. But you've also got them in the tower now. So again, blue's down 20 vils.
Hard to say whether it's a script issue or something's going on with the engine, because as we know, the Maximal Being is an expert on the engine and scripting, but I'm sure that it's hard to keep track of all the bugs that are occurring with each update that comes into play. And it's your script works on user patch, which Immortal was originally intended for, but it's hard to catch everything for DE, which is still kind of in its infancy, almost, when you use it in a lot of ways.
Well, it's one of those things. It's a tricky thing with scripting, isn't it? That in a game that's kind of constantly being worked on and having changes made. I understand that you can't kind of preserve AIs in that way, that you have to constantly keep them updated. But in this kind of tournament format, you can see where it kind of falls a bit flat. And I think, kind of thinking maybe for future tournaments, this is where I would be a fan of, being able to make changes to AIs between, kind of at every stage. But it's hard to do, right? And even if you did allow that, not every scripter would have the time to do it.
Yeah, this is something I know that updates were allowed for a fairly long time inside this tournament, but I think the problem is with this script in particular is that it's so complex and there are so many things going on with it. It's just impossible to test for absolutely everything without, the AI being out there for so long and people giving you feedback of what they see, and you still have to update your AI at the same time. So you just can't catch everything. So.
But the villagers did ungarrison and then regarrison this tower, and as you can see, their bombs are slowly boomed behind this, and Immortals again just really struggling with not using all of its villagers that it's got hiding in TCs.
Yeah, average score is almost 1,000 points more for the Rehoboam team, in addition to the villager and military superiority, which are clearly evident from the above grid that you just pointed to up there. So,
but also, I remember, seeing these civs being drawn, I was like, ooh, I don't know how that's going to go, because in the previous game you see Berbers and they've got faster vills so it can keep up with the economy. They've got and they've got camels and genitals if if you want to kind of counter archers. But you know that Bear is going to be going into Savar, and both Mayan and Britons have kind of archers and ranged unique units. You don't have massive options really.
In most games, and most AIs inside the tournament, you'd probably be fine, right? Playing mines or Brens or whatever civ that you want to. But where you're inside the finale and your opponent's chosen, one of the best civs in the game, you'd probably want to be playing at your very best as well.
And we've got and here we've got Eagle Scouts. Mayans are at Castle Age, but they don't have the resources to upgrade. These are basic Eagle Scouts with no armor, no attack.
Yeah,
they're not.
Yeah, that's not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work.
I like this monastery.
He wants to get those relics. How many? Yeah, there's several on the map. He's not going to have enough gold to spare on.
I wonder if Reho is collecting relics, actually. Let's have a look.
I see yellow is got 2 monks. I wouldn't be surprised if they...
Yellow doesn't appear to have any yet. Oh, but they are collecting relics. I can just hear the sound.
Have they researched fervor or fever? Or
doesn't say along the top. I didn't notice it. I could probably check with the monk though, right?
I was just curious if they have that increased monk speed on them.
In the HP's 30. I can't remember what a standard monk's HP is as well. But yeah, we got
I know after upgrade. Well, actually, no, that's not right. Remember.
And this is an opportunity for Immortal, right? And he is again in most other games. If Rare got to this point and was building camps outside of enemy territory, then Immortal would be in a position to punish it. But we've got garrison TCs again. Yeah, it's just an uphill battle for Immortal. You're going to see these monks do a couple of conversions. They don't quite have the numbers yet. The monk did garrison into the TC, so I think they ungarrison one vill to garrison the monk, which is quite nice. Which implies that the TC is able to ungarrison, right?
Yeah, at this point inside the game, it's become very, very one-sided. It's nice that at least Rehoboam gets to show off all of the admirable things that the TheNightPanda has worked on to make him the AI that he is now. But
Savar's coming in for both sides, and yeah, the red units are kind of split. I don't know if that's TSA, but it seems red seems to split across both enemies. So it's just pressuring, it's 2v1ing and winning. And yeah, Savars are just brutal.
They are a very powerful unit right now.
Well, again, you got 2 archer civs, and Persians have, extra attack against the archer line. Savars are, pretty arrow resistant.
They kind of remind me of the Savar kind of reminds me of the Cataphracts almost.
Yeah, I see
almost. I'm not sure how they compare in attack and.
And yeah, there's a win for
Other upgrades.
Rehoboam.
Yeah. Well, that was a pretty intense match right there.
Let's look at the stats. It's alright. Green actually did have a bit more than that. It looks a bit one-sided when you scroll up there. But yeah, I think this boiled down to Reho was did have a bit of an early lead, but I think it steamrolled as soon as those villagers didn't ungarrison.
Yeah, that was
just
an
ran away
issue.
with production.
Ooh, yeah. Hopefully, TheMaximalBeing can get that fixed. At least in time for Prince of Arena.
And I've been practicing against Immortal a lot with the latest updates to Brightspark, and Immortal's still solid. And I'm testing it on other maps and stuff, and it's it's not like it's just crumbled or anything like that. It is still beating most other AIs, but in this matchup, those little things are just being, it's Rehoboam is going to punish that. Cool. Let's.
I'm interested to see how if Brightspark starts to consistently beat Immortal here. That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. And I think any time that I have got there with different maps, TheMaximalBeing then releases another update, and it's 2 steps back for me. I think TheNightPanda made it. He made a point of, he felt like this was really kind of a last chance to get ahead of TheMaximalBeing. So, yeah. Just loading up the next game, which is the 3v3.
So, do you still have plans on working on Brightspark for Return of Rome as well, or is that too long into the future?
Eventually, it's not top of the priority list, just because I don't know. I just feel like it's not finished on Age of Empires 2, like the base game, and with tournaments coming through, there's going to be a point where I end up, not working on it, right? So it will be finished, quote brackets, in at some point. So I'd hate to kind of spread myself too thin and not reach the level I want to get to with it. This game 3v3, we've got Rehoboam switched now to Mayans on the pockets, the flanks, and we've got Persians as the pocket, and then Immortal. You saw a 3v3 previously on the Viper and T-West stream. So in the previous 3v3, Immortal had Gujaras with that as well. But Gujaras were the pocket. This time we've got Gujaras a pocket again, sorry. But this time we've got Mayans again, but we've got Bulgarians as the second flank. Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. I am going to play this slightly slower.
Did Immortal use the conic inside despite the unique unit for Bulgarians?
I I don't recall it doing that, but
Maybe.
you probably saw with the last 3v3, like so much happened.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see the Kona come out. It's an interesting, unique unit, to say the least.
DEAI uses it quite well. Yeah, if you get a chance to play against Extreme AI with Bulgarians, it's really nice seeing it kind of start grouping together separately the cavalry units and then the military ones when they get dismounted. Yeah, so I wanted to show this bit. Disaster. Really unlike Immortal.
Whoa. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That second villager does get saved, but and it doesn't garrison, but yeah, he loses one up here.
Oh no! Did he shot it with his TC?
No, it's got food. He's all good.
No. Okay. I was about to say the TC finished off the Rhino for blue, and I was like, don't tell me that on top of that would have been a. Ooh.
He has done that before, apparently. But yeah, in this case, no, it's a villager loss, and that was I think we are going to get some wasted food here as well, because we have just got the one villager on it. But he's already clicked up, right? So he's, I'm guessing going for. I can't remember if it chatted whether it was archers he was going for. I'm guessing so with the wood it's going for there. We've got disruption happening to red. So Cyan's doing a good job with the drush. It's going to slightly distract red. Again, a little bit of over micro with each of them targeting. Bite Spark does a similar thing here. It's a bit too sensitive. But it's keeping them alive.
Yeah, if you've been following along, the audience should already know if they've been paying attention to the score, which AI wins this fight. But it's still interesting seeing how close they are right now, at least, with how they're playing and everything. Waddle says, "Can you zoom out some more?"
Oh, yeah, yes I can. We've got archers going around there. We've got an Eagle Warrior scouting. And an army moving out. A little painful to see the lion there. And yeah, we have two armies. Both pockets have got to Castle Age. And you're going to see yellow already producing knights. Green's going for Shravamsha riders. With green outproducing yellow, or just producing those units quicker, but green then pauses for a moment, I think to save up for TCs. And we've got all archers versus mostly skirms, so Rare has done the scouting again and is able to pin blue down. Blue will keep him busy though. Red is fighting off skirms here as well, but we've got Shravamsha riders coming to help.
No castle up for yellow yet.
Yellow doesn't need.
They are.
Yellow's got knights against skirms.
That's true. I'm hoping to see the unique here. Oh. Yellow's doing a good job.
Green eventually is, again, a bit of a weird DUC moment there with them pausing. So light blue's under pressure, but we've got some good quick walling here. Not enough, unfortunately, but it is, again, just buying time. Immortal's really good at just stalling. Rare's going to shred these archers. So we got 3 rare bombs at Castle H. We got 2 Immortals still in feudal.
Yeah, that was gruesome regarding the archers.
This time you've got the counter advantage to rare bomb, and you've got the micro. It's a one-sided battle at that point. We've got a collection of units here which could help. They could help against this, but I think they're still gathering, perhaps. Got a couple of men at militia line. This happened previously when Immortal played as Gujaras as well. It added some militia. And we've got a nice snipe there from Cyan's TC. Green's coming in now, but it's coming around at a weird angle, and that's going to buy Rarebone some shots. They are going to get a bit of a surround on, but again, some weird behaviour. They just stop. And
that's weird.
Camels versus Knights.
Yeah, they finished them off though. Right there.
Adding in spears. Green does a good job. Could have cleared up those skirms a bit easier if they all got involved. We've got a blue TC here as a backup, so blue's very much seeing the writing on the wall and trying to plan accordingly, which I think is a good move. Green is going for a 4th TC, blue's going for another TC here. Again, under green's protection, that may work well. Cyan is holding off quite well here as well. And the monks have come. Cavalier comes in. Cavalier versus Camel. And Rare is producing from 4 stables. So he's going to win that fight, but there's going to be more coming. And all Rare Bones soon are going to be hitting Imperial H with none of Immortals doing the same. And I'm hearing garrisoning sounds. Just seeing who's doing that.
What's blue doing over there inside their base right now?
Oh, they're the ones garrisoning, I think.
Can we look at their base? I think they're the ones that are struggling. They're okay. So they're the ones who are getting laying down the team a little bit by these crossbows, but they're getting pummeled by those crossbows.
They are rebuilding in Green's base, which is a good move, but again, I mean, I think this time it's the right call, but there was a load of villagers kind of just gathering in the middle. And you know, most normal AIs would do the same, right? They would gather around the TC and they'd just die. At least there's some evacuation measures going on.
You gotta know when to run away.
So yeah, Cyan's in need of help. Is not going to bail itself out. Green is building castles. That castle should go up. We got Arbalest Micro versus Shabam Shaviders and Camels, but unfortunately there's a little bit of freezing happening again, and so the Arbalest gets some free shots in.
Yeah, that doesn't look like that happened the same way that time.
And I'm not sure, again, I'm not sure what's happening. I don't know whether the units are trying to gather as a group, so they're trying to find a central mass. This looks like DUC conflict.
Is it? Do you see conflict with attack groups?
No, I think it's DUC conflicting with DUC.
Ooh.
That's what it looks like. The TheMaximalBeing will know better, I think, looking back through this. And yeah, the micro's going to come in here, kill a load of vills. Immortal's still keeping up okay, but a lot of these vills are... It's not fully showing on here, but they're either moving or they're garrisoned. Cyan has gone up to 4 TCs. I think he's building a 5th. So it's just trying to preserve its villages at the moment. But yellow is just piling on the pressure. Weirdly enough, we've also got some stillness here from red. They do eventually gather, but not quite sure what's going on there.
Yeah, Zebo says this, but he thought the quick walls on TC
nice.
were was interesting. Yeah, I saw that as well. I mean, just so they could finish getting that up without being attacked. That's one of the best things Immortal does right there, the quick walling. I think it's something kind of unique to his AI still.
Yeah, it's really nice. So, yellow, purple's going to try and take out the blue base. We know that most of blue's population is now in green's base, so that doesn't necessarily mean the end for blue. But cyan's got nowhere to go. And he's being attacked by yellow and red, so cyan's days are numbered. All those vills are just going to hide in the TC, but against Savar, those TCs are going to do very little.
I guess Immortal could still try to go for like a corner TC or something, but you know, when do you call a game quit type of thing? I mean, at this point, it's almost GG almost at this.
Well, in the 3v3 that we sent off, that was streamed yesterday, this kind of scenario happened, but the Pocket was able to kind of counter and turn the game around. So I think it is worth Immortal just kind of delay, and in a human game that sometimes happens, right? You get like someone's job sometimes is just to be the meat shield. While the others kind of, power back up.
Yeah, that is the only benefit. If you've got other allies inside the game, you do delay the attack on them possibly, and you can still be kind of like a sacrifice at this point.
And Green's doing a good job. Like, Green is at 140 builds. It's got trade going. It is, and it has got units. The problem is, and it is researching heavy camel now, but it's both flanks are in trouble, and that's really the issue here. If it was just one, if one of the flanks could hold, then Green would be in a position to counter-attack. But it's just putting out fires. You are going to see mods being produced, which is nice. And I think I'm trying to remember this now. In one of these games, we do see some nice Onager micro. Cyan, where is your manga now? I'm not going to be able to find it now. In one of the games, I think it's this one. Oh, he's garrisoned.
No, wait, there's a manga now by Cyan up there. Just go ahead and click on it. You should be able to click on.
There he is. it's not that one. It does try and micro some Mangudals at some point to, we may have missed it. It does take out a few Arbalists.
Oh.
But the bulk of it's happening here. And I mean, you see this. Rome is about to fall, right?
Yeah. Too much pressure.
I mean, camels are a nice touch here, and even under this pressure, you're seeing, 135 bills. It is still trying to produce military and trade. It's not stopping there. But yeah, this is one-sided. Again, we've got a nice line of castles from purple. Interestingly enough, we don't see the castles from Rehoboam get the unique upgrade. They don't get citadels. I suppose they're not Persians, right? These ones are.
Yeah, the ones that are shaped like. Yeah, the yellow is obviously the Persian castles. So.
But we are drowning in Savar. And there it is. So yeah, Immortal doesn't. The two flanks never got to Imperial Age.
That would do it. You have to have at least one of them getting to Imperial Age, just like you said, or else they're just going to get overrun.
And it just kind of ends here, really. They're relying on green, but the two flanks just can't hold long enough. Look at that for purple. Purple just skyrockets.
Well, look at red as well. Look at how.
Well, red does this, I think, as yellow goes into cyan's base. It just buys red the time it needs to mass Arbalists.
Mm-hmm.
The Savars start tanking the hits.
Yeah, purple and all three of Rehoboam did a great job.
Yeah, it's well coordinated attack.
So we have one more, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, so everyone, last recording of Davis Cup here. So
Got a 4v4.
The 4v4. And the next tournament probably will be around these tournament.
Yeah, we've got the ladder starting up again as well.
And the ladder. You can't forget Leaf's ladder.
And Caron's playing that next, isn't he? Is the next match, I believe.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Caron versus
I
HD.
submit. Yeah, Caron versus HD. But I have kind of I don't know. I sent you a message the other day. I don't know. Oh, what we can start the Dark Age. We don't have.
Yeah, I was just going to outline first of all the civs for this one. So yeah, this matchup we've got Mayan's Mirror, of course, but and Rehoboam will play Persian Pockets and Mayan Flanks, but Immortal rolls Incas for one of them, so everyone gets a free llama. They also have Burgundians, which I think is a nice civ to have on the pocket. So Incas and Burgundians are pockets. So supporting Mayans on the flank, we've got the other flank, Celts, which again I think they're nice civs.
It's a nice mix of civs. I mean, we have to we do have to give props to Immortal for being able to play multiple different civs and do that type of thing. So it is a nice, mix that is going for it.
It'll be interesting to hear if, like looking back through these, whether the Maximal Being kind of feels like with some of these civs kind of agrees, that's a bad matchup, or whether he thinks it wasn't the matchup, but some other things that really influenced these games.
I hope he doesn't restrain like inside tournaments rather than continually improve Immortal to playing these additional civs so Immortal can still be on top and he still feels comfortable with allowing Immortal to play all civs even inside the final games of tournaments and stuff like that, because I could see like the Maximal Being like bunkering on down or whatever and just focusing on like one civ or something like that, and then that would
I don't think he will, and I think there's enough of a mix of tournaments now. We've got the Prince of Arena coming, where it will be blind picks for civs, right? So and I think as long as we've got enough tournaments that kind of reward that, then I don't think that will necessarily be the case. But you can see here the Boer laws go a bit better for Immortal here, than they are at the moment. But I was going to say that compared to the 2v2, I mean, Incas are quite a nice civ to have if you know that your opponent's going to go Night Flood. Because Kamyuks are awesome, and they're not too bad against archers either. Like, they've got the speed and the range to kind of catch up, and I mean, Kamyuks are just hard as nails. there's not much they can't take. You don't want him going for slingers though. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, that's an interesting unit that the Incas kind of have. They've got the slingers kind of going for them.
So Immortal's drushing on both sides this time, which we didn't see in the previous game. I think it only drushed. We didn't see the mines drush in the last game, but he actually gets a kill on red. He's giving orange some idle time.
Have we seen a DUC slinger micro on standard DE versus Skirm, and do we know how that would turn out? Because I haven't ever compared those two units on.
I'm pretty sure the slingers get minced in that matchup. I guess unless you really micro them well, but yeah, I think Skirm still counter slingers because they're classed as a ranged unit, but they're just really strong against infantry. Even Malian infantry. Rehoboam's trying to kick out this militiaman, but yeah, quite disruptive starts for both the flanks there for Immortal. So and you can see here slightly in favour of Immortal there with the bill count. Rehoboam's going to start taking out some of these units and pushing back with archers.
Wow says, in the previous game, the full archer for Immortal very likely was an issue.
Yeah, because Reho just knew how to counter that, and Immortal didn't switch out to skirms. I don't know whether Immortal at early game even plans to counter, because it kind of sets out almost like a two-phase, doesn't it? It goes like scouts into archers, say, kind of preempting maybe what an opponent will do. So I don't know whether it was just a case of it goes for like a pre-build, and that pre-build just ended badly for him on that occasion.
So here's a side question that I have for you. Did you enter Bright Spark on 2-leaf slider? I know that you asked me the question.
I haven't yet. I just want to get it version 40 finished first, and I know with the ladder, you can kind of jump in when you're ready. So I do intend to enter it, but I quite like to get this version done first, and know that it's quite polished, because during Davis Cup 7 I was very much trying to get updates in as quick as I could between rounds, just to kind of hit deadlines, and I think some of it kind of suffered for that. I'm not quite happy with some of the things I added, so I'm trying to unweave some of those changes I've made and do them properly.
Some of us have been out of Davis Cup for a longer period of time than others, so we've had a longer opportunity to make updates.
Yeah, and I think I mean, from my side as well, like I've had a bit of a break from scripting. I've moved house and moved job, kind of all in one go, just before Christmas. So during that time, I've had no scripting at all.
Yeah, you've been busy.
So I am still working on it now. I am getting back into the swing of things, but it's been, I think, probably a good couple of months actually where I've not worked on it. So the Knights coming in to support each flank for Rehoboam, which seems to have protected somewhat, but we have got garrisoning happening here again. They do eventually ungarrison for Grey, so I think this might be a range thing before they ungarrison. Immortal is coming in to try and do some damage, but it is avoiding those archers. But you can see here the military advantage is for Immortal. They're kind of balanced in terms of techs at the moment. Rare is about to get a third one into castle, but Rehoboam is leading on the village account, and doing a decent job at protecting those villas. We've got two attacks happening simultaneously. Green's going out to attack orange, while orange and purple are attacking blue. And if those knights weren't there, I would have favoured blue in this scenario. Red Rehoboam just clicking up to castle, but potentially in a lot of danger. Yellow's going to be supporting here, so the knights are steering clear of that. But I feel like the knights could have done some damage here. They could have attacked that gold.
Yeah, it feels like those red villagers were kind of left alone to do what they wanted to do.
Green is scary at this point though. They are getting caught on the houses slightly, but DUC will correct that.
Yeah, it's strange. I haven't really seen Immortal going for a house like that before. It really, maybe, but he really doesn't do that. He focuses and he groups together.
Yeah, and I think it was just between DUC commands. I think it was just waiting a couple of seconds, so the default attacking was coming in. He's going to keep these under the TC, but he's doing a lot of damage to vills. Also keeping some idle time for Rehoboam.
Yeah, I think that the Viper said that Immortal was too. I guess he should be going for the attack more even underneath the TC if he has that full army going.
And I think he said that about Rehoboam actually as well, because Rehoboam was avoiding towers quite aggressively and waiting quite a while. Immortal did get Castle Age Cavalier, which is a nice touch, but just as Rehoboam...
He's kind of stuck there.
Yeah, he's just...
he's okay.
Retargeting.
Okay.
He's retargeting. He's...
Mm-hmm.
But again, could have dove in, but it's a Cavalier army against 2 armies, which is why he's hesitant. So Grey is stuck in Feudal Age. It is clicking up to Castle now, but yeah, this one is lagging behind. Whereas
I would think that the Cavalier army would be able to take those Castle Age armies, though. Wouldn't you say?
They don't have the Imperial Age armor though, so they get a HP boost, but they wouldn't be able to take on 2 armies. I don't think they could take on knights, but with the archers as well, or crossbowmen, I should say. It's a big ask of them. They kind of need to pair up with another player, I think. Grey is going to get upgrades to try and defend itself now. It's getting Bodkin, but it's getting it just as the knights are coming in, so the knights dive the TC.
Yo has a fantastic score compared to all the other players right now. It's probably because of all the units that they've taken out.
And Purple's going Imp as well. Green's going for 4th TC.
But Purple's had it easy. I mean, they've been pocket the entire game. So
yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Like Rehoboam is so consistent with Persians. That Castle Age time is so quick, and those knights, they don't hang about. They come out and they get their armor upgrades quickly as well, so they're instantly lethal in TC range. Cavalier for Purple. Go straight into Imp. Clicks Cavalier.
Forging just now coming in for Yo-Oh.
Yeah, he's prioritised the armor upgrades first, which is the right call. Purple's getting the other armor upgrade for the Cavaliers that he's about to get.
That's always been kind of tricky for me. What do you prioritize armor upgrades first, or do you boost your attack upgrades first? Because in some AIs, like or say Arabian Knight, for instance, he prioritizes the armor upgrades, and he gets the 2nd upgrade, and he goes for the attack.
Yeah.
So and that's brutal.
There's a Spirit of the Law video on it. I think as a general rule, though it's not always the case, for melee units you want to get your armor first, whereas for ranged units you want to get your attack first, because your attack ones give you extra range as well. So the idea with ranged units is you don't need the armor because you outrange your opponent and you kill them quicker.
I think that's a good call. I haven't ever thought about it like that, but yeah, that's smart thinking.
But I think, when you've got like-for-like units attacking each other, I think there's certain circumstances where you want the other upgrade. But I'm not as good of a player to be able to tell you those off the top of my head of what those circumstances are. But they are out there. Yeah,
it's one of those things that, those players would... just takes practice and knowing and playing the game type of thing. And that's what some players around the community are doing, like Rondi. I mean, he's practicing to make himself better so he knows how to code Zoo better.
Well, I just actually recently played a game against Randy, and I can tell you he's practicing his arena game well.
He wants to make Sun Tzu better.
If it plays anything like he does, he'll be alright.
I think that he's probably increased his skill level a considerable bit in the last year or so, when he's been playing all the games with members of the community. So
I will say, for anyone in, part of the scripting community, but even if you're not, we've had some real fun over the last few months of just occasionally playing what we call meatbags versus calculators. So we mix games of like humans versus AI, but we had a really nice 2v2v2v2 where we had scripters versus plus an AI, not necessarily theirs, in kind of a four-way team battle, and mixed abilities and stuff. But it was really good fun.
Which one were you paired with?
I was paired with, I think the CD AI.
No. Why did you guys include that one? Come on, that's no fun. You should have included anyone besides the CD AI. I mean, it should have been
I think we were trying to make it beginner friendly as well, so we didn't want to just put Immortal in there against everybody. But
still, there are still the king. The king would have been probably a fun AI too.
The king was amongst them, I think. Toby played with the king, and Kimberly played with Chill AI. So. And we had Manko as well play it with I think a United Kingdoms. So
really, he did Tuck. Okay, that's interesting. You should have done maybe your first AI or something like that.
Yeah, potentially. Some of them aren't kitted out for free for though, so they might have surrendered a bit too quickly. But no, it's good fun. And you can imagine all sorts of like partnerships forming, and then treachery and all of that kind of stuff.
Treachery.
Inevitable betrayal. So again, the numbers for village accounts aren't massively different considering there's 4 players, but we do have some garrisoning happening. Whitefall garrisoning here, I think, they're under attack. But it means that Immortal's eco is grinding to a halt. Green is really producing though. Green's the one that's trying to bail people out. Blue's got the eco, but it's got high cost units, I think. Cyan, sorry, I should say there. Whereas,
look at all those texts coming in for Rehoboam.
I know.
he has Halberdier. He's got the wall upgrades. He's going for the chemistry and the armor upgrades. Holy crap! I mean, he was saving up.
We got a nice. Blue Savar here. That's a Castle Age Mayan Savar, so clearly a unit got converted from...
Yeah, someone got converted.
And then converted back. So
he doesn't know what quite to do. He's just running back and forth, like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Great village defense here from Immortal. I think my favourite moment, we'll send the recordings out after this, but I think my favourite moment is in the 4v4 that was streamed yesterday, the Genoese crossbowmen. If you just zoom in on those towards the end of that game, they're micro, like taking on hordes of Savar. It was just beautiful to watch. Yeah, highly recommend giving that a watch.
Yeah, I mean, something that I've enjoyed from
we got a load of
from all these games. From all these games is Rehoboam, the castle drops. I think that's an interesting type of push that we haven't really seen with other AIs. Is just put the one additional castle a little bit further.
Yeah.
And another castle a little bit further.
I think there was another AI that I saw that Rehoboam actually played against in the early days that did something like that. I don't know if it was beginner perhaps, or maybe one called Boss. It's one of those, and they
Boss is good. I would be surprised if Boss did that. Boss is a good AI, but it feels like it was.
It might
Boss
be beginner then.
It might be, and Jackie has just come back. I wouldn't be surprised if it was beginner, and Jackie was just coming back inside the Discord community these past few weeks. The past week he came back. I think that he's getting excited about scripting again because of the XS scripting.
Yeah, I saw that, and some of the new stuff that's happened with DE. So I think like attack move and things like that with DEC weren't there before.
Yeah.
Cyan's doing a great job at trying to defend. Like, you can see all these TCs and castles in the middle. It is producing units. It's producing monks now to try and convert. It's got paladin. Cyan's not going to go down easy. It's grey that's really struggling. Green's also putting up a great fight. Both are nearly pop capped. Blue's got that one Savar and a monk.
What? The 14 monks kind of confused me. Is he beginning to do a monk style rush, or what's he planning on doing? I guess he's starting to stockpile up monks.
He's countering Savar. That's what he's doing.
Okay.
Their Nightline is more vulnerable to conversion. They convert a lot quicker, so it's a no-brainer. If you've got the resources and you can micro them, then you want monks going after these Savars. If you saw the final of the free-for-all tournament that Leaf and Arandi kind of recorded and did, it's great.
I never got to see that. I heard it was great, though.
Spoiler alert. Cover your ears if you don't want to hear it. But
I love spoilers. Go ahead.
Immortal beat Rehoboam in the final by, I think, an army of about 40 monks, an army of like 40 or so Savars charge. They all get converted, and Immortal just turns it around and sends it back in Rehoboam's base.
I think I remember somebody saying this. That sounded like it would have been awesome. Like, stop hitting yourself type of thing.
It was exactly that, and I think it got to the point where Immortal was converting Rehoboam's villagers and then deleting them as soon as they got converted.
Wow, that sounded like it was intense.
And you can see here, the monks are doing a great job.
That's scary, all right.
Rehoboam sending 2 gold, sending 1 gold.
Here's an additional gold for you.
Save the pennies and the pounds will follow. But yeah, could you imagine if Immortal had Aztecs? Because the monks would have extra HP for every monk tech.
Yeah. I mean, Aztecs love monks, so...
This is a little sad to see. They are trying to rebuild though. But you can see the population for Cyan is still producing all these units. But now that we've got 2 armies coming in. Grey's rebuilt. Look, it's got 4 TCs. So you're talking about when do you call it GG? With this kind of determination that like Immortal could, if you leave him for just a couple of minutes, Immortal will reboom.
Yeah, that's the thing that some of these AIs, I know that they want to go past the 200 pop. They're begging for more villagers so they can just keep on going. with that economy, and just if they could, they would just try to steamroll over the opponent just with their economy and just keep on booming and keep on booming, and more, and then they would just, it would be nonstop. But
yeah. I was having to think about this the other day watching the NAC5. What are your thoughts on AIs having a 9 villager start?
Well, I like the way that the AIs play. I wish there was a possibility for AIs to be able to play almost in competitive tournaments with humans, and also the other game mode. I'm thinking about the other game mode, Empire Wars. That's what I'm thinking of. I know that people have discussed starting with Empire Wars in the future rather than the Dark Age, so you can just get into the just the middle of it almost, and get past the Dark Age craziness, and you don't have any militia. The thing is that a lot of AIs nowadays the best ones go for a drush, and so you're missing out on that.
It's more beginner friendly though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'd be cool to have an AI be flexible enough for a 9-vil start. Just from Wattle there. Yeah, absolutely. I just think, like, for a beginner, if you don't get like those things like ball laws and stuff right, or you're not getting the timings just right, kind of having a bit of help on the way there. And I mean, Empire Wars is that even more, right? Like, it kind of helps.
Yeah.
So
it maybe
we got the beginning of the end here. 7 stable production for yellow.
Immortal is trying to hold on at this point.
And again, if Rehoboam just retreated for like a minute or so, he'd be back to full strength. But he's not going to retreat. He's going to keep that pressure up. He's going to be building those castles closer and closer. It's interesting that it's only the flanks that build the castles. You could kind of have forward castles from the pockets, which would be nicer for with Persians. That's 20 vills he had on building that castle.
Well, no, from the game the other day, when he built that castle right next to the castle, he pushed, those villagers all to create that, and they were still being sniped by the other castle, but he got the castle up.
Yeah.
And that was incredible.
Yeah, you can kind of, and I think that's one thing that, like, with a load of DUC AIs, it's very easy to kind of focus on perfection and stuff, but actually some of those moments where you just brute force something to happen, like it's like with I think I like Bright Spark's tower defense against 105, but like something like that where like it's not tidy, it's not it's not DUC perfect, but it just send everyone in to do something, and even under castle fire you'll get the castle up, or even under several tower fire you'll get that tower down.
Yeah, because you'd almost never see that from almost like 0% of the AIs would do what he did right there.
Yeah,
I mean that was incredible.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of the thing about like running in TC fire. There's a time to do it. There's a time that that you've got the numbers, and and even if you're going to lose your knights or whatever, you know that the damage you're going to cause is going to be worth it. And at the moment, I don't think many AIs calculate that, because you know, I as a player find it hard to calculate, you know, whether something's good value or not.
Well, the old AIs, they didn't have enough rules to do it.
Of course,
and
yeah.
you know, and the new AIs, you know, we're still figuring out. You know, everything's still being, you know, thought about inside your head, but there has to be a proper number for it. There has to be the, you know, the time where you kind of the quote correct time to start researching feudal age, the correct you know to keep on pushing the advance, and the correct moment to retreat.
Look at blue here, by the way. It tried to rebuild back in this corner.
Yeah. He's all the way to the edge of the map, and he's still trying to, you know.
And oh, look at Grey. He's trying to place 3 TCs.
Yeah, they're like the game's not over. I'm still trying to.
That's what I do as a
trying to hang on.
Look at Cyan. Cyan's going for the middle of the map. That's maybe less thing, but like.
Anywhere.
This is me in a free fall. Like, I'm losing the free fall. I'm gonna hide in the corner and just be annoying. And
this is how I used to play Age of Empires 1. Is I would try, and I was playing on like a mixed water map. I'd take build a dock and build a transport ship with like one villager and start building on the other, you know, on the other side with the TC.
Well, I think in human games, like I mean, at least me and my friends, like we get to a certain point where one of us is being pushed, and you know, we'll send villagers to someone else's base and be like, "Hi, I'm moving in. Good luck with what's coming." You know. So yeah, so that was another win for Rehoboam there.
Yeah, they were really fantastic games. Davis Cup was really incredible. I know that I've been privileged to just be able to run this tournament, and you know, people have been saying for a long time, let's have a tournament with every single AI. So now the community can say we've done that. We've had the tournament. We've had every single Arabia, except for one AI. There was one AI that we forgot, besides the ones that were deleted. But for the most part, we've had almost every single AI participate. So we know who the champion is. So good job to Rehoboam.
Yeah, and I think like you consider that Immortal won 4-0 in the previous matchup. Like these AIs are, I think 5-2 again just doesn't do justice of how close these AIs are. And you know, you've got the random factor of random civs and all of that, but
yeah. I mean,
it
could change at any time. It could change. The best player could change at any moment where Immortal has an update, and then you know it's the strongest AI again. But you know,
and we've got other scripters creeping up. I mean, the Shadow, and Shadow, right? The Shadow. I know that we used the DC6 version pretty much of this, but Shadow really gave Immortal a run for his money. I know it's a 4-0 score, but the 3v3 and the 4v4 were insane at how close they were. And if Fireball's working on Shadow, you know, that could creep up into it soon. Leaf's been working on the general and been adding DUC and excess scripting in there. I have no doubt, like general's evolving. His weakness used to be feudal rush, and you know, he takes a 1v1 from Shadow, like one of the best feudal rushes out there. Like yeah, all these AIs are getting better. You know, we're learning as a community, and Leaf's, you know, a big help with that. He's always answering questions and updating the guide, and I think as a community we're getting better because of it. So yeah, I will say to to those watching as well. Being mindful that we knew kind of partway through that the Viper and T-West were going to be doing the streaming, so I actually did end up running 9 games. So I will add the final 2. There was a final 2v2 and a 1v1 that I added in there. I will release that, particularly for TheMaximalBeing as well, from a troubleshooting point of view. We didn't share those final 2 on stream, just because the score was already done. But also, they were really one-sided matches, and it was because of bugs, basically. I think the 1v1 Immortal, something went wrong with Immortal where he had a big army, scouted Rehoboam's, one of Rehoboam's villagers, and then retreated back to the base and never attacked again. Just let Rehoboam boom. And there was another one where it was a 2v2, and again it got one-sided because of TC garrisoning. The villagers just got trapped, and same thing happened. Rehoboam boomed and took the game. It was kind of, yeah, it wasn't showing them at their best, really. But yeah, I'll share all 9 of those games, so you can see them. But yeah, MrElephant, and Esty, if he does end up listening to this, thank you so much for running this. it's insane what you've achieved.
I thank you for coming in here and being willing to work on some of the games here, and sometime down the line we should definitely do this again. But chat, Bandit and I will need a break for.
I was gonna say I need a break, and I've only done a few of the games. You must be you've run a half-year marathon. How many games? Well, do you know in total how many games we've run in now for this?
I think it was 1,000. It was well, including this one, which was an additional 9. I think it was 1,674. I want to say that's before the additionals, and then the additional. I know I put it inside the chat how many games there were in total. Yeah, 1,674, and you just ran. Was it seven more? So that would in total, or
yeah, we
so that
technically
was,
we ran the 9, didn't we? For
yeah. So so the 9. So that if everything's included, we ran 1,683 games.
That is ridiculous.
Yes, it was a lot. So, it was. So, but I was happy to do it. I'm sorry that my only regret is that I wasn't able to stream every single one. But you guys would have been overloaded by just me streaming continuously, games after games and games. And the games from the pre-qualification rounds, even though some were great, some of them were very good AIs. I mean, but you had some that they built a barracks first before they built a lumber camp and a mill. So you had AIs just like that.
And some of them just glitched out, didn't they? Because they were used to the old Arabia, I think.
The 2 of them did. They were by the same author. His name was Ruler, and his AI just he had plenty of AIs inside the tournament, but 2 of them had to be replaced because they interfered with the forest. I think, like you said, he was a great scripter though, so props to him. And there are so many other AIs that didn't get to participate inside the tournaments that are on the AOK Heaven blacksmith that can play Arabia, but they weren't included inside the tournament because they had never participated inside an Arabia tournament before. This is just AIs that had played inside a tournament.
So you're saying DC8 is going to involve every AI that was ever made?
Right? I'm signing off. I'm signing off. Only if you are willing to run it with me, Ben.
Oh, yeah, maybe have to get a team together. Maybe one question just about, I suppose, what you were hoping from DC7. So, anyone who either watches this back on, Twitch videos, or I imagine some of these games will end up on YouTube as well. You went through the effort of getting all of these AIs, new and old, together in a big tournament. For anyone who kind of watches this back, what's your hope for those people who kind of watch it? Like, why have you done it?
I was really just doing it. So I wanted all the. I guess I just wanted to show what we have all made as a community together, and I thought, there are so many members and so many old members of the community, like Barry and others. I thought that we could all come together and see at least one more time where, we could all come together and watch, all the old AIs and all the new AIs, and show basically how we've evolved over, almost the past 20 years, and how AIs have progressed and what we have achieved with AIs and where we have come from. So in addition to showing how powerful our AIs have become, it's also a great history lesson of showing where the original AIs and what the programmers were thinking at the time and what they thought were good strategies and what really turned out to be the case. So it really has been fun, and I really did enjoy running this for everyone. So,
thank you. And if you're a player and you're new to watching this, if you're you want to mix it up a bit from playing against the built-in AI, there's now over there's over 300 AIs out there that you
there's
can.
350 plus.
Yeah. If you're on PC, you can download many of those from the AI Scripters forum.
I'll go ahead and post that inside the chat right now, and it's on the second page here of Davis Cup. There's a AI's Pack DC7 full pack on here. So this is the this is what you want to go for. Now, a couple of AIs have been updated since that point, but the old AIs should still be fine to play. Now, even since the tournament has started, there have been additional research. There's been an additional research that goes into faith.
Devotion.
What's the devotion? So, if we ever run a tournament like this again, we'll have to think about older AIs and how, if they have included faith, how that will work with
devotion,
the devotion, similar to the Eagle Warrior text. So,
but yeah, even if you're a skilled player, you're really good, you'll see that Immortal and Rehoboam are probably going to be your best challenges, but it doesn't stop you from mixing up some AIs, getting some mixed teams, and trying to do like a 1v3 or 1v4 or something. You can kind of have a bit of fun that way. Some of these mixed teams are really good fun as well. But shall we sign off there, Mr. Elephant? Anything else?
I think it's time to ride off into the sunset. So I guess I'm ready.
Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you, folks, for joining, and thank you, Mr. Elephant. Take care.
All right. Thank you, Bandit. Okay.
Speak soon. Bye.